Let's talk a little bit, Joanne, about some of the things that you do to help them to get ready, what some of the techniques are that you use when you do your workshops.
We started using last year, like I was like, why didn't we think about this before? Video modeling, which is used in the classroom a lot. And
Yeah.
it's used with ABA a lot as well.
Very effective.
Very effective because you get immediate feedback.
Yeah.
It's not like you're waiting, like a week to see yourself. So what we do is we do a mock interview, say it's an interview, right? And I'll be the interviewer and they'll be the interviewee. And they come in, this is kind of further along in the program because they already have their resume built.
Right.
And we've already been talking about interview skill sets.
Right.
So they come in and they give their resume and I begin with the interview process. And then we don't do too long, maybe 4 to 5 minutes, right? So we do each candidate and we typically have 10 candidates. So then we come right back in, we plug that into the overhead because everything is technology driven. We have overhead projection. They all have Chromebooks. They're all working with Chromebooks. Awesome. And we shoot on the Chromebook.
Right.
Bring it back in, hook the Chromebook up, and then we go one by one. And as a table, we start with the first one, and after the 5-minute session, then we start with positive behavior support.
Right.
What were some great things that we saw in that interview? And people, these kids they know what, they get it now. They're like, he was looking at the interviewer.
Look at that.
He wasn't fidgeting.
Right.
He answered the questions and stopped at the right point,
Right.
Then we say, great. What do you think were some challenges?
Right.
And people, these kids are savvy to it. When they see themselves and they see others, it's a healthy critique.
Yeah.
Well, he kept going like this, or something. Right. So the next time we want to remember, and we make a note that we prep with, remember that you don't want to get that nervous thing going on, or this kind of thing.
Right.
And we do all of the candidates, and then we'll do it again in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
it's
change.
amazing to see the growth.
Right.
Amazing to see the growth. It's amazing.
It's a wonderful thing. And so 2 different things to be thinking about here. If you are interested in this and see a need in your community for this, you could sign up and do this workshop on September 14th.
Or we take it on the road.
Or you could ask
Susan
for the
and I
workshop to come to you.
Sure, we're going to Framingham, Massachusetts, outside of Boston.
Lovely.
In October.
Okay, so let's talk about who might be good candidates for this. We had yesterday on the show a mom from Scotland who saw a need in her community and that her kid didn't have social opportunities. So first she started a Lego club, then she started an assistive dog club. Where they're training the dogs to go, and they've been able to place like 22 dogs, something like that.
Fantastic.
So if this is the need in your area, what's to stop an enterprising mom? If you've been saying, I want something to do, I want to give back to the autism community, because our question today is, what's your expertise?
Yeah.
Maybe this becomes your expertise. Maybe you get certified in the Autism Works Now program and have that running in your community.
That's right.
What a service that could be. So it could be moms. Who else would be a good fit for this program, Joanne, to take this back?
Well, 17 and older.
But I mean for the people to get certified in
the
it.
people that certify, well, administrators, educators,
for a
leaders of
school.
Organizations.
If a school
schools.
sent somebody from their organization and brought it back, then they could start an Autism Works Now at their school.
That's right.
And autism organizations, as you were saying. So
transition programs, all kinds
an ABA provider?
And nonprofits.
Absolutely.
Nonprofits that would benefit as well. The biggest concern I get is, and now we're getting closer to the October 4th date, so I get a lot of calls from mothers. So tell me a little bit about your child. Well, he's 26, and well, do you get jobs for people?
Right.
That's the next question.
Right.
Forget what about him, but can you get him a job?
Right.
And so I always remind them and take them back to, there's a reason why he's not working.
Right.
He doesn't have the skill sets. He's missing the skill set to get a job, or to even get a job and keep a job.
Well, thank you for saying that, because that's sometimes the problem, right?
Because people want to go, I just want him to have a job. Well, great, guess what?
Yeah.
Let's go back over. Has he had any jobs? Yes, but they let him go.
Right.
Well, there's an issue.
Yeah.
Then there's an issue on both sides.
Yeah.
And so both sides have to be educated. But right now, we're right here in front of your child. Why don't we give him the skill set
Yeah.
to get the job?
I have to tell you, and this is sort of off the beaten path here to go here, but have you watched the show The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
No, I've seen a couple of.
It's got all
commercial
these Emmy awards, and it's pretty hilarious. But we just watched a recent episode, and I don't want to give things away for people, but there's a moment where somebody in the show says, "I got a job," and everybody else turns and is like, "You got a job?"
Right.
And there is a hilarious scene where, the person says, "Yes, I got a job." And one person goes, "Okay." And then he pops his head back in and he's like, "You have to go even if it's raining, right?"
Right.
And they're like,
That's it.
"Yes." And then he comes back and he's like, "And they're going to expect you to be on time, right?" And it's all these different things where you see that it has not occurred to them to prepare this person for a job
At
ever.
all. Yeah.
And I, laughed myself sideways
Yeah.
because all the things that he kept coming in and saying, because people who understand the rules around working a job get these. Now, it isn't just people who aren't on the autism spectrum who don't get the rules. I see that around me all the time. There are a lot of young people who are not prepared to work a job.
right.
And I know, because there are already people who have said, "Oh, can I send a child who's not on the spectrum to get a job from you?" Because it's difficult.
Sure.
And you give them everything from the kinds of things like, even if it's raining, you still have to go. As preposterous as that may seem, that's a point that must be given to them. Everything down to the very practical things about how to send the email, when to follow up, how, to conduct.
How do you get the interview?
Right, and how to conduct
hard
yourself
now.
once you have the job and there's a problem.
Exactly. Who do you go to?
Right.
We also address the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, and
Yes.
how are you protected?
Yes.
Because there is bullying in the workforce. We know that. We've heard that from Anita Lesko and a lot of other individuals.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And Anita she's an anesthesiologist.
Yeah, and has been at the
And
top
has
of her
been for
field
20 years.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
and
is bullied
still
on
is bullied.
on a daily basis.
Yeah, so you just
Unbelievable.
have to, I'm always like, Anita, let me at him.
I wish
Let me
she
give me
would.
the number.
I
because
know.
I will just, read them.
Well, and I want to give her a lawyer, but the problem is she wants to work.
She's afraid.
And sometimes when you bring in a lawyer, your ability to work diminishes.
Oh, yeah. Pretty soon you're on part time, and then all of a sudden you don't work here anymore.
Right.
Yeah, look, it's tricky territory.
Yeah.
And one of the things we're teaching when you talked about you have to go even if it rains, Colin booked himself for a job, and then 2 days ahead. Now we're realizing we have to have commitment 5 days ahead, and don't change it. 2 days ahead. It's my uncle's birthday, and I won't be able to make it. What? The real world, Colin says, you know what? You already said you committed to. You'll go afterward to your uncle's birthday. So there is an article that Lynn Dunsavage wrote on us for Autism Asperger's Digest. Lovely article about the kids and the program. And she's a wonderful journalist. And at one point, we were talking on the phone. She's a friend of mine. She said, "Well, look, it must not be must not all be a walk in the park.
Right.
Can you tell me some of the challenges?"
Yeah.
And I said, one, these individuals don't understand what work is.
Right.
They don't have an accountability for a paycheck. You and I started working because our parents said, "Guess what? You want a car?
They weren't
Go
prepped-
get a job.
They weren't prepped for this.
You
They
want an
weren't.
apartment? Go get a job. You want this? Go get a job."
Yeah.
And so we learned to work by force.
Yeah.
We had to if we wanted what we wanted. These kids don't have an incentive to work, Shanna.
That's true.
So they don't understand the process of cause and effect. You go to work, you get a paycheck.
Yeah, but I would say even more than that, for the parents, there isn't an incentive because of the way we have structured the laws that we give support to individuals who have disabilities. And we say, but if you do well and you can go get a job, then we will pull the support from you.
And we will take money, $1 out of your $2.
Right. And for the parents, I've had so many parents say to me, "I'm worried about what happens when I die. I know that they have this amount of money that comes in. If they get a job and 6 months from now the job doesn't work out and I'm not here anymore, then where's my kid?" And a lot of parents just say, I'm not going to do that. we've done a show, and we're going to do more shows on ways to get around this, because you can still work.
Right.
And there are ways around it. But I think that's part of the reason why parents don't push, because it feels like no man's land. And I do think we need to change our laws so that it isn't this way.
One, I want to talk about early vision for your child,
Yeah.
for younger children. But also I want to make a note of talking about a woman who called me, lived down in Anaheim. It was her grandson. And no, it was her son, and she was already in assisted living. And she said, well, I called Goodwill to see if I could get him an interview or a job. I said, stop right there. No one is ever going to hire, and this is for everyone out there, I know that you mean well. Do not call someone to set up an interview for your child for a job. They're not going to do it unless they know you and they're a friend of the family.
Yeah.
Because why isn't your son calling?
Right. The immediate assumption
No,
is
thank you.
that
We
they
have no
can't do it.
openings.
Right, and that they don't want to do it. It's absolutely true. I have to warn you, we have 5 minutes left. So what do you want to talk about in these 5
Well, we
minutes?
have a GoFundMe for
Okay,
Glorious
let's
Pies.
talk about it.
We have a GoFundMe for Glorious Pies, and it is on my website.
Okay.
It
And
is
what's the
also
website? And Samantha will put up-
autismworksnow.org.
Okay.
It is also on Facebook, Joanne Lara, Facebook public, so you can
Okay.
go see it on Facebook. I just redid it today on my timeline. Click on
And
that.
this is essential because even, it's hard for all businesses, but to get this business up and off the ground and to be able to pay these kids a decent wage, it's very, very expensive, and you need some help and support to make sure that the business has time to grow and flourish, and to have the tools that you need.
We're a small business, and now I realize what I've been hearing for 20 years. Small businesses in this country are the hardest to start up, and most of them don't make it. They don't make it. Look there's the kids. Most small businesses don't make it because workers' comp and insurance
It's expensive.
will take you under. It's $1,000 a month just alone for that.
Yeah.
Just alone.
So
for that.
you need some help and support. Any amount would be welcome in the GoFundMe.
Or
What
a
else?
sponsor donor.
Oh, yeah.
A sponsor.
Who wants to have their business?
We certainly
along with Glorious
would
Pies?
love a sponsor that would come in and sponsor us. And I mean, Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, or somebody where we use their coffee and we put them on our
Absolutely.
vehicles, our trucks. There's a lot of options.
Come on, Coke.
We just
Yeah.
We just started in March, so we've only been up and running for 6 months. So
And you have good buzz. I mean, everybody loves the pies.
Yeah, and the
It's
pies are
wonderful.
great, and the kids are
Yes.
great at selling them.
Wonderful.
And we love what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I think the universe. You ask the universe, and she answers, as I
That's
always
right.
say.
That's
So,
right. There's the
donors,
article.
please. Oh, there's the great article.
beautiful?
That's Colin. Me and Susan and Colin.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and there's Zach over there, and there's Charles's son, Charlie, on the cover.
Wonderful. And so what else is on your list? Because we're running out of time.
The workshop September 14th, October 4th is the Autism Works Now classes. Call me
If you have
if you want to talk about your young
in
person
the
coming.
area,
Glorious Pies, we talked about it. Denim and Diamonds, we talked about it. Just want to say how incredibly honored I am. When Nancy called me and said the board wanted to give me the Golden Cowgirl Award for community service, I started crying.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh my God, are you sure? Really?"
Of course.
And it's such an honor. And now I'm writing my speech. Right
we're
now.
all so excited to be there for you that
Thank
night to
you.
see you
It's
win
gonna
that
be
award.
so
That's-
incredible, yeah.
It really is going to be incredible.
And the GoFundMe, and that's.
Okay,
I
so
think we
those
talked about everything.
so those are the things. So make sure. I really want people to think about this, because I know so often people will say to me, haven't found my niche yet, Shannon. I don't know where I fit into the autism community. If you're looking for something, this is the place, honestly, I think, to fit yourself in is helping our kids to get jobs. This is the easiest certification that you can get. It's a 1-day training here in Los Angeles. If you can't make it in Los Angeles on September 14th, talk to Joanne about coming to your area.
Right, and we will continue to mentor you through the program. That's if you decide to come and want to replicate it, like we have 10 people that want to do it, and I'm amazed. We will mentor you through, and we're not going to just go, okay, well, good luck with that.
No. And you get to take the Autism Works name with you that you're
Yes.
certified in
Yes.
it. If you have any kind of an organization,
Which is copyrighted.
And so if you have any sort of an organization, some of you have churches and synagogues where you have a program for your young
That's right.
people. What a wonderful piece to add to it. Some of you are affiliated with camps. What a wonderful piece to add to it. This is a rare opportunity. It's not the only one that'll come along. You'll do more certifications.
Yes.
But this is coming up now, and if you want to get the jump on 2019 and be doing something positive for yourself and for your community. Now, here in Los Angeles, correct me if I'm wrong, are you guys vendored with the regional center
We
now
are
for-
not, but we will be with the Ed Asner Family Center.
There we
We
go.
will be offering the class there as well. when
So,
we're
but there
up.
is a cost then to the family for taking the course.
Yes.
And that is something that you then, when you have the certification, you can offer these classes, and there is a cost. I mean, it's not a huge cost because it's got to cover expenses, right?
right.
And cover what you're doing.
And materials.
And materials, right? But this is a model for people to take forward to help young people. But it could be a small enterprising business for somebody.
Well,
as
we're hoping that if you set up the Autism Works Now program and you get comfortable with it, then you'll move into the Glorious Pies.
There
That's
we go.
what we want.
There we go. And that's a fabulous thing.